Hi, welcome to my channel. As you've probably noticed, I've got a couple of videos with briquettes on them. What I want to show you is the advance in briquettes that I've done over the recent few weeks, and it's making a difference. For me, it's a game changer. It'll change my process. And I hope it changes your process, because what I'm going to show you is the next step. Once you've made briquettes like this, let me show you. Once you've made briquettes like this, then you know what you're doing, you're getting into it, and you'll find some of these quite flaky. So let's just take this one. This one's been done a few weeks now. Let's put it there. And let's show you another one. This one has been down here about 4 weeks. Let's go for a medium-ish one, that one. And let's look at these briquettes. I can tell which is the top and which is the bottom. That's the bottom because it's flatter. This one I'm not sure yet. Yep, that's the bottom. Right, now let's actually look at what we're seeing here. What we're seeing is, on this one, big flakes and spaces in between the flakes. Over here, the occasional big flake, but look how matted it is. Look how much small fibre there is in here. So this is because I'm using coffee grounds as well. So that's one of the small giveaways, is the fact that there's coffee in there and there's more dust to chippings ratio. Right, next thing to try out. Let's set this up about there. Let's put just over 100 grams. Let's put the other one in. And this one's coming up at, what's that, 150 grams? There you go, 150 grams. So that's 50 grams heavier than that one. And I'm sure you'll agree, if you look at them, that one actually looks chunkier because it's expanded back out, because it hasn't got the smaller fibres. Right, the next thing I'm going to show you is, for me, the game changer. This has been sitting here covered in water for about 3 weeks. It smells of coffee. Yeah, it smells of coffee. And I've done this to see just how well it starts breaking down. If you've watched my last video, I actually burnt a composted briquette. The inside was scorching hot, whereas in a normal briquette, they're quite dark and burnt. So they're retaining the heat better. So the process really has to change. And that process was a push process. The bag would fill up and then it would make me do blocks. And now I've got to do it the other way. The other way is I need to make a space on there for the next load of blocks, but I want them in there for as long as possible. And if they can sit in here for 3, 4, 5 weeks, if they can sit here for 2 months, that's better for the block than sitting in a bag over there doing nothing. So if they're breaking down, they're going to make a better block. So that's where we're at. This is looking like a good mix. I've got another bucket, which I'm going to do some blocks in this now. And then I've got another bucket that I will start off. I won't add new chippings to that one. So in the past, I've added new chippings. And if you look at this, you can see it in the colours. You can see those are quite golden, these are a bit brown, those are paler. And the paler ones are where I'd be making briquettes and I would fill it up to continue making briquettes. That's got to stop now. What I need to do is make briquettes with that mix, use that mix up, but while I'm using that mix, have another bucket with another mix starting. And the longer I can leave that in there, the better quality briquettes I'm getting. We will get these dark ones, we will get these, and some of these are sort of this mixture, like this one. That's that cross between it's cross between the two. I need it better than that. That still feels light. These are great. These are solid. They're really solid. So that's what I want. Thing about this as well, it answers the question that everybody keeps saying: what binder do you use? What binder are you using in there? No, don't use a binder. Don't think of it like that. Don't think of adding something like a binder. think more like, what can I add that's a waste, that if it went in here it could become a fuel rather than going to landfill. Coffee grounds, tea bags, dust out of a vacuum cleaner would be another good one. Anyway, I'm going to start making some of these now. Let's make a briquette. It's quite deep down. And the good thing about this is we're getting all that liquid through it, so the liquid's filtering through. If you enjoy my channel and what I do, you can donate and support the channel. If you scroll down, go to the thanks button, which is just there, hit that. You can choose to donate £2, £5, 10 or £50, which helps me improve my channel. Cheers, guys. That's probably too much. The coffee smell is wonderful. Let's just push that down. That's because I'm doing it one-handed. So you push this down and back to release it, because if you don't, the back comes out. But I don't think this one's going to be. Oh, it's not bad. There's a bit falls off the back sometimes. That goes there. That goes there. Block there. And remove these. Piece of wood. One of those on there, and that's 5 done. These are quite a little bit chunky, and they smell lovely. They smell of coffee. Put that one there, and we'll see what these look like in a couple of weeks' time. They don't look like they're going to be as dark as those, but they might darken off a bit. We'll see. Emptied the bag into here. It's mainly oak shavings through the planer, bit of walnut, a little bit of mahogany. And what I'm going to do now is something that somebody suggested in the comments on my first video, which was, why do you let the water go back into there? Why don't you let the water go into another bucket? And I was just like, what's the point in it going into another bucket? I suppose now the problem is there's so much liquid in there every time I get some out that I'm digging deeper and there's more liquid. So if I take some out of there like that, and then the liquid runs through and into the next bucket, the liquid gets reused again, and this bucket starts to get emptied. As you can see, the liquid's great, so the more of that liquid. And I think as well, if I just leave that, everybody seems to be in a rush to make these briquettes, but if I leave that, just make sure it's level. If I leave that to drain naturally and don't put it under pressure, I'm trying to say I'm not squeezing through coffee grinds. I'm actually trying to squeeze through just the water. I want the coffee grinds to stay in there. So let's not put it under pressure straight away. Let's give it a moment or two. And that way all the small grains can stay in there. If I just put that on it, there you go. If I just got that weight on it, is that enough pressure? There's so many questions. And if you've been watching some of my videos and you've seen some of these briquette videos, let's try and improve these things. You tell me, and I'll try something different. I think this is better because this is naturally now draining into there. This gets low down, which means I'm not going through loads of liquid, so that makes sense. The liquid's being kept, so that makes sense. Put a bit of pressure on. Not loads of pressure. That's the important thing, I think. Compression is really important. A lot of people make the briquettes and they put them out to dry, and they don't really show what they look like after. I'm showing you some of these. Look, they're weedy. That's great for starting the fire, but that's great for burning for a long while, and that's what I want now. I want quality, not quantity. And if it means that all I've got to do is let it sit in there longer, which means empty the bag more often, create a second bucket, utilise that, everything from there will either go to briquettes or it goes into there from water. I think this is the way forward. And as I say, somebody's mentioned, why don't you have 2 buckets? Sometimes it's a language barrier, sometimes it depends what's going on. I've noticed as well that since having that up like that, the briquettes are sloping, so it's not a pain, it's okay. I think this is the way to do it. More liquid. So I've gone from putting it in with that. So what's just happened is the liquid is going out of here too fast. So now I'm going to put the wood in with this. It might take a bit longer, but it means that I leave more liquid in this first bucket. I don't want all of the liquid out of there just yet because I've still got wood that needs to be soaked. This must be doing all right. It's going to need a lot of liquid. This is quite a dusty mix compared to that. That's more of a chipping mix. That's why it's got more coffee in it. So we will see. I could do with some of that dust, but if I put it in there now, that spoils my experiment of leaving it for a couple of weeks, leaving it for 3 weeks before actually making the briquettes, before producing them. I think that's the way to do it, because once this has gone into there, then I won't do that lot for another 3 weeks, which gives me plenty of time to fill the bag up of shavings. And if I need to do it quicker, then this one will be empty, ready for that to go into, so it can go from there to there, and then that can stay in there longer. So yes, this is the process now, isn't it? Yes. Let's get this one done. So that's going down well. I've just got some of this liquid and put it back in here, just so that it goes through a bit more. You see, they're a bit thicker, but look what happens when I take this off. You can see just how quickly they can expand without the weight on them. The compression is important. Look at it. Compression is important. Let's put 2 on there, 2 on there, and 2 in the middle. No, I'm going to keep those on the ends. So there's 15 done. I'll see if I can do some tomorrow, which might empty this bucket and fill that bucket up a bit more. And then I'll put a date on there, and then I'll start documenting what's in there and how long it's been there. I think this is going to work. I think if I could leave it for months, that'd be great, but I can't leave it for months. What do you think? Put something in the comments. Tell me in the comments what you think, and we'll see if we can try it. And it should change your process, because change my process. It's just tired. Welcome back. Let's start again. Block in a normal, like a coal, a piece of and they don't, excuse me,